Welcome to the Digital Drop Podcast, where we help you take control of your digital marketing strategy so you can do what you love for a living. My name is Andrew Wall, digital marketing consultant, and I am joined by Andrew Perrin, as always, social media and advertising specialist who just changed his title. Ooh, fancy. How you doing, amigo?
I'm doing great. I think this title is an upgrade. Also it reflects what I actually do because I'm not really a guru. I mean, I can start my own cult or religion around social media, but I don't have time for that.
Yeah, neither do I. Cults are really creepy, but you know what? They can make you a lot of money. But anyway, Michael Groth, aka M&J who is a full-time gaming YouTuber and streamer, and we're going to talk a bit more about the streamer part. Michael, how you doing, amigo?
I'm doing quite well. I'm honored to be here. This is like the first time I've been on a podcast, so I feel fancy.
He feels fancy. That's great. For those of you that aren't familiar with Michael and his work, he's got close to 1 million followers on the internet, close to 800K subscribers on YouTube right now, 200 million channel views on YouTube. Twitch, he's got 40,000 followers. A lot of people like this guy. And we're going to talk with him today about his story as a full-time creator and what you can learn from his journey. And you'll be able to take that back to your strategy and hopefully get some takeaways here to help you, especially you startup gaming creators out there that are struggling to get traction, or people that have a channel that is kind of plateauing and isn't growing any further and you aren't able to take it to the next level so you can quit your job and make content for a living. This is the interview for you. So let's go ahead and get in there. So our first question is, why did you start talking to your computer in a dark room and then putting that on the internet, Michael?
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't know about me is that my channel is primarily focused on Pokemon. That's like what I've got my success doing and basically the sole focus of my channel. But I actually did YouTube for several years prior to making a Pokemon video that took off. I actually started my channel almost 10 years ago. Fun fact, my 10-year channel anniversary is in June. And I was just making silly comedy sketch-like videos with my brother, Justin, hence the name M&J. And I was 14. And it was 2009, so that was really when YouTube was first starting to become mainstream. It was first expanding out of just like the small amount of people who were just checking it out, and YouTubers were really a thing at that point for the first time. I thought that was really cool. I thought being a YouTuber sounded fun, making fun videos that a lot of people would enjoy and I could entertain people, because I'd always liked making people laugh. I wasn't nearly as good at it back then. And so I started making these comedy sketch videos for fun and wanting them to get views. And they didn't really get any views, but I enjoyed them, so I do it periodically. But then summer of 2013, summer after I graduated high school, is when I started getting into watching more Pokemon videos, because I love Pokemon, if you didn't already guess. And I was like, maybe I should try making some Pokemon videos of my own. Like I have the passion for it. I know a lot about it. I think it could be fun. And so that's when I had that shift to making Pokemon videos that actually took off. So I'd say the reason I started talking to my computer in a dark room was just because I wanted to have fun and I wanted people to see the fun stuff that I was doing.
That's awesome. I mean, this is the story you hear from every full-time creator. They started because they loved it, and then there was some moment where they started doing something that made them big. So you just alluded to that, like you switched the type of videos that you were making, but exactly what triggered that switch, and how did you know it was working? And also, how did it feel when it started working after, I guess, failing or not growing for so long?
Well, it was kind of mind-blowing. I was fortunate, and when I originally switched to doing Pokemon videos, it wasn't I almost had like immediate success, which is kind of strange. Like I thought, oh, I like doing Pokemon videos. I'm going to do Pokemon videos in addition to these comedy sketch videos that I had been doing. And so I made like one video a couple years prior that was just a one-off video thing. And then I made a video about like my fake starter Pokemon, which was fun to do. It was kind of a pain to get the thumbnail right because I didn't have custom thumbnails at the time. But then I just decided to make a video about how old Ash Ketchum is. I thought it would be a fun analysis type video. And I made that video, and then over the course of a couple months, keep in mind, I made this video like 3 weeks prior to starting college for the first time. So I'm at college, going through orientation, making new friends, adjusting to this whole new life. And I decided, I'll check on my YouTube channel. I haven't really looked at this in over a month. Oh my, this has several thousand views. That's substantially more than any of my videos have gotten before. Is this going to keep going? And over the course of the next couple months, I was just kind of like flabbergasted that this video was, oh my gosh, this is actually going somewhere. I can't believe this. Because I'd always kind of wanted to get big on YouTube, but I had definitely accepted like, this is never going to happen. I'm just doing this for fun. But then when it actually started to happen, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to make more videos. And it was a couple months before I did because freshman year was chaotic. But yeah, it was just like I can't believe this is actually happening. I should have done a Pokemon video a long time ago. So when I saw that success with that first big Pokemon video was when I was like, all right, this needs to be what I am doing because this is what gets success. Plus I enjoy it more because the videos are easier to make.
That's great. You kind of stumbled onto like, I guess, a trend at that point, and then you saw an opportunity, and it sounds like from that greatly motivated you to continue going after it. So that was back in what, 2013, right? Or so when you made that video. So
yes.
I want to know, like, YouTube back then seemed to be kind of like ripe for the picking. There seemed to be lots of opportunity. How is YouTube different today versus when you started?
For me personally, the business side of it has become far more there. It's a lot more in your face. You see like sponsorships in videos, which is something that I personally like. I feel like I never saw before. And it's become more of a business, more obviously a business thing than it used to be back then, which is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's just evolved to such a massive size that's just what it's become. In addition to that, I think it's just so much more mainstream. Like YouTubers and streamers, it's not as foreign a concept to have as a job as before. In the past, you barely heard about anybody who did this full time, and now it's like actually a reasonably regular thing, which I think is great because it's a great career to have. So I guess both of those kind of fall into the category of just it becoming more of a legit industry, I would say.
That makes sense. I mean, you have young people now looking at being YouTubers, streamers for a living. You've got now esports scholarships at colleges.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, this would be a dream come true for me back when I was in college. Let me ask you this then. What does being a full-time creator actually look like, though, on a daily basis? Walk us through your typical day as a creator. What's it like kind of start to finish? What are the things that you're actually doing every day as your job?
The beautiful thing about being a self-employed person is that it's never quite exactly the same. It might be the same for a period of time. It's usually ends up changing within a couple months for some reason or another. So right now, in the late half of January 2019, my typical day is waking up, having my morning coffee and breakfast, and then and then a shower, and then I usually work on YouTube related things for a couple hours. And then I have been Twitch streaming in the afternoon. I usually go for about 3 to 4 hours total. And then once that's done, usually I take a little bit of a break and then make dinner with my girlfriend. And then after dinner, she's been streaming. And so I have either like hung out with her, because she's doing a stream thing I can participate in, or I like, oh, there's this YouTube thing I should probably work on tonight. Let me get that done. Or I'll just hang out and like just do whatever I feel like. But 2 months ago, this wasn't my routine at all. 2 months ago, the brand new Pokemon games had come out. So I would get up and I would record an episode for my Let's Play and then edit it and try and get that posted. And then as soon as I did that, I would do the next one. But then there's also been periods of time where I'll go, an entire day with doing very little YouTube related work at all. I try to have some semblance of structure, but it always ends up a little bit different day to day, because I'm self-employed, I might have like a doctor's appointment that I can just go to. And so I do less YouTube work that day and so on and so forth. But what I've found is that a lot of people have typical office jobs, 9 to 5 type jobs. They tend to do, during that time period, Monday through Friday, they're doing just all work. And then they go home and they don't do any work, assuming they don't have to work late and stuff like that. And then the weekends, they don't do any work. I found it, at least in my experience, if you're a streamer or a YouTuber, professional content creator, I guess, I feel like you end up doing work every day of the week, at least some amount of it. It's rare that you'll have a day where you do no YouTube work whatsoever, unless you kind of schedule it ahead of time. Be like, I'm going to do no YouTube work today. I need a break, which I think is important, but that's a different discussion. I found that you end up doing work every day, but a lot of times the amount of work you do in a day isn't as much. You know what I mean? Like I don't do the amount of work on a typical Monday that a 9 to 5 professional person does. But I also do work on weekends and in the evenings that they do not. So this has been a long-winded way to say it changes a lot. Just because it depends on what projects you're working on and like what you're extra motivated to do, or if you're like, it's a slower time. It varies wildly, but I like that it varies because that keeps things interesting.
Yeah, we're pretty used to that here in the. I mean, obviously, AWOL has done a lot of YouTube too, and is the consulting side of thing. What you're saying sounds so familiar in terms of like you have mastery of all your time. You control your time when you want to work, and it kind of ends up being like it can be periodically throughout the day. It can be in the evenings. It can kind of be whenever you want, which is a really nice perk.
Yeah.
You mentioned Twitch earlier, and that you're streaming on Twitch. What made you decide to stream, or what made you decide to choose Twitch over maybe the other platforms? I think was that a recent transition over there, and I'm interested to see, as someone who is unashamedly like into the Facebook streaming thing, I want to know what made you make that decision to go to Twitch.
Yeah, sure. So there's a variety of reasons. I would say the strongest reason for me to stream on Twitch is vastly superior monetization options for creators. Now I want to be transparent in that I know very little about how monetization is set up on Facebook or Mixer, but I am very familiar about how it's set up for live streams on YouTube. And so I guess that's what I'll focus on the most, because those are as of now, the two biggest streaming platforms. But as far as I'm aware, but Twitch, the language is going to get a little bit confusing because Twitch has subscriptions, which are different from YouTube subscriptions. The paid monthly service on where you get access to custom emotes and a badge and stuff like that is subscriptions on Twitch, and on YouTube, that's joining / becoming a member. on YouTube, the only way for someone to become a member on your channel is to pay. There is no other option. And also people had, when I would stream on YouTube, I would always get questions like, how do I become a member? Like I'd get that several times a stream. And so not only were they only able to do it if they could pay, but they also could only do it, that they would have difficulty finding the button to do it. Whereas on Twitch, subscribing is not only easier, but people are able to subscribe for free. There's Twitch Prime. Somebody has Amazon Prime, they link it to their Twitch, they get Twitch Prime, and they can subscribe to one streamer per month for free without paying anything more than they're already paying for Amazon Prime, which they would pay for already. I would say a third of the total subscriptions I have on Twitch right now are from Twitch Prime, which I just would not have them if that would be a massive chunk of my subscribers on Twitch gone if Twitch Prime didn't exist. Additionally, something that Twitch rolled out recently, which is fantastic, is gift subs. So if one person decides to be extra generous, it can allow for people who aren't capable of subscribing to get a subscription for a month. That massively increases the amount of subscriptions what a streamer can get. To give you an idea, I was streaming on YouTube pretty consistently from September to mid-December, streaming 4 to 5 days a week. And I was basically stuck between 130 and 140 YouTube members just because I just wasn't getting any new ones at all. Then I switched to streaming on Twitch, and I've been doing that for about a month now. And I'm already at over 700 subscriptions on Twitch, which is an increase of like multiple hundreds of percents. So it's just so much easier for people to subscribe. But that's just one aspect of Twitch's superior monetization setup. Another thing that is kind of a hidden thing that not everybody realizes. And when I discovered this a couple months ago, I was pissed and I was ranting on Twitter about it. But Super Chats, which is YouTube's built-in way of viewers directly donating to the streamer, and Twitch has bits, Super Chats are very deceptive. And that is because Twitch takes a percentage of bits and YouTube takes a percentage of Super Chats because they're companies that got to make money. However, on Twitch, when somebody buys bits to get $10 worth of bits, they pay $12, $13. It varies. They have different deals and stuff. So they pay that $12 or $13, then they have $10 worth of bits. They cheer all $10 worth of those bits to you. 1,000 bits shows up in chat, so basically $10 shows up in chat, and the streamer's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And the streamer receives $10. On YouTube, if someone purchases a super chat that is, they pay $10, like I'm going to super chat $10. $10 shows up in chat for the whole world to see. Anybody who's watching the stream sees $10. But YouTube takes their cut after the super chat. So the chunk that's lost is put on the streamer instead of on the viewer. And that's very deceptive because if someone super chats $100, that whole audience is going to think that the YouTube streamer is receiving $100. No, they are not. They are receiving as what could be as little as 55% of that money, because not only does YouTube take 30% of super chats, but then depending on whether they cheered through an Apple phone or whether they cheered on their desktop, extra taxes and Apple fees get taken out. So the streamers really get screwed over in regards to super chats. So bits are a far more better contribution method because when they're cheered, it's not deceiving the viewers. That was a really enticing aspect of it. The monetization options on Twitch are just far, far superior. But it wasn't just the monetization that made me want to go to Twitch. It also was several of my friends stream on Twitch, and it's easier to, do collabs and stuff when you're streaming on the same site. Additionally, the community is a lot tighter on Twitch. On YouTube, you have a lot more people showing up to a stream and then leaving because they're like, this isn't interesting. Whereas on Twitch, you tend to have people that are the people who are there want to be there for the most part. A friend of mine looked at his analytics because he switched from YouTube streaming to Twitch streaming a couple months before me. And he said his average viewer retention or watch time for one person on YouTube, the average watch time was 8 minutes for a 2-hour stream. Whereas on Twitch, for a 2-hour stream, the average watch time was 1 hour and 15 minutes. So you end up with a tighter community of people who really want to be there and hang out with you. And it's really nice. I end up with less spam in my chat and just I'm getting to know people better because the chat box isn't as much of a mess, at least for a creator my size. And I really like that about it. It's also easier. I just hit go live on Twitch. I don't have to make an event and make a thumbnail for it and stuff like that. You know, I've talked about the benefits of Twitch a lot, but another reason I switched is because YouTube had benefits that it kind of lost. YouTube, the reason I was initially streaming on YouTube is because I would get a lot more viewers and my channel would gain a lot of subscribers because they would push my live stream into recommendeds and stuff while I'm live. But the algorithm has shifted in the past year to where they don't do that as much anymore. I kind of realized that streaming on YouTube was no longer helping me grow my YouTube channel when I got more subscribers on a day that I did not stream than on a day where I did stream. And this is only like a Monday and a Tuesday. I got more subscribers on the day that I did not stream, despite my like overall channel views being about the same. So YouTube kind of lost the one growth benefit that it had. So I was like, well, it's time for Twitch. Twitch is clearly superior in this regard.
So much good information there. I have been preaching the switch to Twitch or switch to Facebook or switch to Mixer strategy for a long time and been warning people about YouTube streaming and its usefulness kind of going away in recent times. Hopefully that can be fixed. But let me ask you this. You were able to go to Twitch because you already had an audience that you could push toward Twitch.
Right.
It is difficult to grow on Twitch. The grind to grow on Twitch is thousands of hours. So let me ask you this. What is the most effective way to move your audience from one platform to another? And how difficult is that?
The most effective way to move your audience from one platform to another is something called Gleam, gleam.io. I'm sure there are similar sites that can do the same thing out there, but Gleam is the one that I am the most familiar with. And it's basically a site where you run giveaways. And how people enter into those giveaways is by following you on Twitter, following you on Twitch, subscribing to you on YouTube, retweeting a tweet. You make all these different entries. Basically, people get more entries into this giveaway by going to your other social medias and therefore growing them as a result. So it requires a bit of financial investment because you have to give away something to do this. And of course, the better the prize, the more success the giveaway will have and the more entries you will get. But it definitely is far and away the most effective way to move audiences from one platform to another. The first experience I ever had with Gleam was, I believe it was early 2016. I happened to meet a YouTuber in person, just by happenstance, lived in the same area as me, called Gizmo Slip, who made videos about doing crazy tech drop tests. He would like put an iPhone inside a watermelon and drop it off a building and see if the iPhone survived. It was creative stuff. And his channel blew the heck up that spring of 2016. It was insane. And he asked me if I wanted to be in a video with him where we attach a bunch of Pikachu plushies to an iPad. I was like, absolutely. And he was the one who first told me about Gleam. And so we ran a giveaway of the Pikachu plushies that we used for the drop test. And I was flabbergasted. This is an extreme example, just to preface this, because he had over 1 million subscribers and I had like 200,000 at the time. So just this craziness probably is not going to happen, but I got 15,000 subscribers in one weekend because so many people who saw that video on his channel signed up for the giveaway, and subscribing to my YouTube channel was one of the entries on there. And so if you want to, it works great for collabs, but it also works great for, like, oh, I have this YouTube, but now I'm also streaming on Twitch. I can run a giveaway and advertise it on my YouTube channel. And then people are like, oh, I want to enter. Okay, I'm already subscribed to his YouTube channel. Oh, I can get extra entries if I follow him on Twitter and follow him on Twitch. Cool, I'll do that. So it's an extremely effective method of moving your audience to different platforms.
I think you're in a shared company here because we're all huge Gleam fans. I know Awa and I have both been using it for years, and it's always the go-to thing for growing your different accounts and for doing sweepstakes and giveaways. I guess the last question here, and this is for all the new gaming creators out there. If you were to give a new gaming creator one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say, and this is something that I have believed from the beginning when I was talking about why I started doing it. The videos that you're making or like what you are streaming, the content that you're doing has to be something that you enjoy. It has to be something that you personally have fun with, and you are getting personal satisfaction from the content you're creating. That is the most important thing, because if you decide, oh, I'm going to make videos on this game that's blowing up right now, it's okay. I think it's an all right game. It's not one of my favorites, but it's popular, so that's what I'm going to do. That is a recipe for disaster, because while you could have success and while you could grow your channel doing that, you're going to end up burning out if you don't really love what you're doing, and that will lead to disaster because you'll lose motivation. And if you're not enjoying the content you're making, it's going to come through in your content, and the quality of it's going to decrease. You're not going to be as happy. So if you're a brand new gaming creator just starting out, I think it's extremely important that what you decide to focus your content on is something that you truly enjoy doing / playing.
Audience, if you would like more amazing insights like this, follow us on Twitter at Digital Drop Pod. And of course, we've got a Digital Drop Facebook group going right now. Check it out, www.facebook.com/groups/The Digital Drop. Everybody who is a creator is welcome to join, new creators, full-time creators, etc. And we will help you with more insights, more tips, strategies to help you grow. M&J TV, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. Where can people find you on the internet? Where do you want to send people to check out your content?
I appreciate you having me here. It was fun. My two biggest sites, as I've discussed, is YouTube and Twitch. My username on both of those sites is MNJTV, MANDJTV. YouTube.com/MNJTV, Twitch.tv/MNJTV. That is where they can find me.
Fantastic. Perrin, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter, under twitter.com/astraldigital. That's ASHRAL. And facebook.com/astraldigital.
Right on. I'll keep mine simple. You can find me on Twitter at AWALDigital, AWALL Digital. Michael, you're amazing. I love working with you. Coaching you has been just such a blast. It's just been amazing to watch this whole Twitch thing take off. So I can't wait to see how far this Twitch part of your story goes, because it's just amazing. 700 subscribers already in like 45 days. That's crazy, man. I'm so happy for you.